sing it one and all. Join in the chorus, North Melbourne's on the ball. Good old North Melbourne, they're champions, you'll agree. North Melbourne is the team that plays to win for you and me.
Welcome back, Shimboners. On today's pod, we will be doing part one of our player reviews. To help me break it all down and probably some differences of opinion, we're going through players 2 to 15. We've got the Big Chief here, but we also welcome the Frog. Fredo, welcome. How are we?
Good, mate. Thanks for having us in for this one. Looking forward to it.
Chief?
Yep, thanks, Baz. Looking forward to some discussions over our mighty Shimboner players.
Well, before we get into that, let's first reflect on the VFLW, who yesterday got the job done in a come-from-behind win in the grand final, back-to-back, and it's a great sign for our AFLW girls. Obviously, the VFLW won the flag, then the AFL, so hopefully the trend continues and our girls go back-to-back as well.
Yeah, back-to-back, baby. Love it. And the AFLW, they're just on the path to the 9-peat.
Right, you've been strong on that. But
very strong on that.
Before we get into our first player in Finn O'Sullivan, I want to touch on a quick grind my gears throughout the week. And is there anyone stiffer than my man Colby? Because if you lose Young Player of the Year to a 28-year-old,
to a veteran,
what is going on there? So that's just sums up the current AFL administration. Absolute shambles.
Yes, and Fredo made a good point on the under-22s and their selection. So I'll throw it to you, Fredo, and you can let the listeners know.
Oh, that it's fan voted is ridiculous because, you know, other than Sheezel, we're going to struggle to get anyone in there. And probably they only picked Sheezel over the last 3 years, but they're all in their fantasy team, scoring 100. And that's just how it works. I mean, Curtis was absolutely shafted. Really.
Yeah.
Nate Caddy, he's okay, but stats are about half as good as Curtis if you're just going to go off stats. I mean, most other opposition coaches would be thinking, what are we doing about poor Curtis today?
Yeah. So Paul Curtis was in the All-Australian team at the halfway mark until the North Boys stitched him up, along with the AFL. And the point you made was it goes on their career highlights, their career achievements. So if it's going to go on that, then the AFL have to have a selection committee. And, you know, we know the selection committees are really good. Just look at the All-Australian
Won't be
committee.
perfect, but it's better than
It can't be fan-based because it's just a popularity contest.
Yeah,
and obviously
100%.
anyone from a smaller club is going to struggle.
Right, well, let's start with the first player. Obviously, we don't have anyone at the club wearing the number 1 Guernsey, so we'll start with number 2, Finn O'Sullivan. Chief, I'll let you kick off.
Right, we're doing the old... None of us are teachers, but we're doing the A, B, C, D, F report card style. So C would be an average, like a solid year, nothing outstanding. B would be above average. And A, obviously, is excellent. And for a team that finished 16th, there probably won't be a lot of A's in my opinion, but I've got one lined up, don't worry. Anyway, I'm starting. Foss. Right. Played mostly at halfback. First year player. Played 22 games for the year, so that's a massive tick. Played mostly as halfback as a defender, and I mean as a defender, he actually locked onto someone. He still managed to get the ball. It was very tough in the contest for a first year player. And great composure. I think we all loved his composure with ball in hand. And I thought he was really consistent. He didn't have massive ups and downs. He was consistent at a very good level. His disposal average was 14. He wasn't handed the ball. He had to earn his own ball. He wasn't like the distributor like a Daniels or a McKercher.
Who?
Daniel.
You've done my...
I've given him an S. There's two of him. Daniel.
The supporters that love that,
Can't I just call him Mini Helmet?
Yes.
Anyway, for me, he exceeded expectations. And his expectations being a pick 2 are pretty high, but he exceeded them for mine. And I've graded him a B-.
Right. Frog, any differing thoughts?
Pretty much the same thing. It's just, I mentioned overhead mark, I think, and a really good spoiler. When running back with the flight, it's sort of like a natural spoiler. Gets the fist on the ball really well, a lot better than a lot of the taller defenders do. And also, like when he receives the ball, I feel assured like he's a 200-game player. I think he's got it in the midfield. Foss has got it. This is good. This will go to someone. He really puts his thought process through it.
Yeah.
Plays way beyond his years.
Yeah. Doesn't take the first easy option.
No.
We'll find the best option all the time, and that's what I love about him.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty similar thoughts. I think such an impressive debut season. Calm, composed, and untackleable, as I've told you many a time. But the thing that impressed me the most was how effective his disposals were. Like, having him have 16 was more effective than some of our other halfbacks having 30. Always looking to take the game on, calm, composed, as you mentioned, and he'll be a 250-plus game.
Yep.
I'm really impressed with his season. I think B- is harsh. I gave him a B+. I was bordering on A quality for him, and he's definitely overachieved.
Okay, well, I've done my gradings. I haven't given a lot of weight to the fact they're a first-year player. I've given them at an AFL standard. So I think AFL standard, he was B-.
I think B+.
Okay, so you think he was almost All-Australian? Because A would be All-Australian quality. My thinking. Your thinking may be different. You can discuss.
Yeah, well, mine probably factors in that it's his first year as well.
I give a little, probably less than 10% weight to that. Well, anyway, we're all different.
I had him as B. I didn't even say.
Oh, we'll sell on a B then. Meet you halfway.
Yep.
We haggled to halfway?
Yes.
Sold on a B. Right.
Right, Frog.
Another one to mention, sorry about that, he's talking about it, he's very hard to tackle. He's also, when he is going to get tackled, he's very good at sort of selling the umpire and to think, I didn't really have enough time. Like, he's quite good at just holding it in without making it look too obvious. So it's another example of his very good IQ.
Yeah.
And he also made the top 5 for
the Rising Star.
Rising Star, which probably might have been a little bit higher, being a North supporter, but I think he was better than a couple above him.
I'm just glad he made
better
it.
than Taru. He's got a good highlights package, but his season wasn't as good.
No.
I think.
It was a bit low.
Yeah.
You said a little bit high.
Yeah.
It was a bit low. Right.
Right, Frog, take us with Harry Sheezel.
Oh, Sheezel, well, I actually think he had a pretty good year, but obviously his disposal probably was a bit off for him at times. But he's 20, it's his third season, he averaged 29, and supporters saying it's a bad season. That doesn't quite sit well with me. Not as good as the previous year, but that's, for me, part of that's a bit of coaching. You got put at half forward. You can't really get 30 at half forward very often. Not going to be. What hurt him there is he didn't really impact the scoreboard, and he kicked a few points that you think, oh, Harry will kick this, and he didn't. He was about 1-8 at one stage, I think, wasn't he? But towards the back end of the year, they threw him down back for a while, so I think it reset him. I think that was a really good coaching move. Put him down there, got heaps of the ball, distributes beautifully, as you know. Then towards the end, they threw him in the midfield more, and then we saw what happened in the last few weeks. So, yeah, I think what you'd like going forward would be more goals for him, whether he's playing mid or forward, like a bit of both. He just needs to hit the scoreboard more. All our mids do, really. So I gave him an A-, and he was ranked 5th in the league in effective disposals per game. So what more do you want?
Yeah, he also
Obviously,
broke...
the more disposals you have, the more effective, but it's the 5th in effective. That means he's not doing a lot of sideways stuff.
No, and he broke the club record for most disposals in a year.
Yes.
So big congratulations there. What was your grade?
A-.
Well, what about expectations?
Well, I'll go next.
Okay.
Expectations would probably be A or more if you can go A+.
I've given him an A- as well. I think in terms of over or underachieved, I think it's about expected. He set a ridiculously high standards for himself. He had a slowish start to the year, but his second half of the year was the Harry of old. I think he must play full-time mid from now on, and it was all highlighted by that 54 live down in Hobart that we were all there to see, and that was magic. I agree with you that he was looking a bit disjointed at half forward, and moving him back, although it copped some criticism, I think that was the right move to get the ball in his hands, get his confidence back up, and I think his second half of the season was really strong. And I reckon he was close to being in All-Australian considerations after that second half of the year. Right, what are your
Okay,
grades?
well, I'm not going to go over what you guys have said, but yeah, he struggled as they all do in starvation corner on the half-forward flank. I for expectation for the year, I've got him below, but I'll say that's because my bar is extremely high for him because of what he's done the previous 2 years. So I thought he was slightly below his first 2 years, and I grade him a B+.
A B+. He's finished second in the most prestigious award,
Yeah,
and you've given him a B+.
yeah.
Jeez.
We haven't got a lot of A's.
That's
A is, A is pretty hard to achieve. Well, I thought as you and the Frog both agree that he, even though he had the stats were the same, 29 average disposals, he just wasn't quite as effective as he normally is. So B plus is a good score.
Gee, I think
You
there'll be
didn't
a
bring
lot of...
many B pluses home to me from your school report.
No, that's true.
It's only a touch below A minus.
Yeah. So what did you guys give? Both
Both
A's?
A minus.
A minus.
A minus.
Yeah, so it's,
that's what I
you're
said.
splitting hairs.
Expectations, you'd want him to be A for 10 years in a row, hopefully.
His last 4 or 5 weeks, it was A plus against the Tigers, but just a bit below. So we'll move on. We'll be here.
I think
all day.
even like league, why people are thinking, he's missed that kick. He hasn't had a good game. But no one goes at 100.
No.
Like not knocking what you're saying, but you think, he was a bit off with some. But I mean, they all miss kicks.
Yeah,
if another midfielder had 29, we'd be trying to push him in the AA starting.
Well, that's right. If Foss had done what Harry did, he'd be an A.
Yeah, or Powell.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to...
Hang on. Before we do, we're going to quickly shift gears a little bit because we haven't done our player numbers for a little while.
Yep.
So we'll pick up where we left off, and that's number 36. My favourite number 36 that I've watched during my time supporting North, probably Shannon Watt, I reckon.
Yep.
Bit of a mainstay in the back line during the 2000s and just got the job done.
Yes. Yeah, he was a bit undersized, wasn't he? He was quick and tall, but if he got on a monster like Neitz, he could be... I remember Neitz took him apart a couple of times, but... Yeah, he certainly tried his best, and sometimes there was too much ball coming down there, a bit like today.
Yeah, definitely. And it was quite open at times too. So you got Matthew Lloyd.
Yeah,
he could kick goals on anyone. That sort of thing, and plus he was taking over from Mick in a way, wasn't he? Mick Martin.
Yes. So
that's a hard one.
You went from an all-time great. Anyone was going to look, not as good after having Mick Martin there for 14, 15 years.
Right, who have you got for your 36?
Well, I've got one. You probably haven't heard of this bloke. He's from the 80s. He played between 82 and 86. Wore the number 36. A bit of a blonde hair type operator. Graham Atkins played 61 games for 39 goals, like a winger flanker type. So number 36. Not probably an all-time great number at North, fair to say.
There's a few we're going to go through today that aren't.
Fredo's probably got the best, but he probably played his best at another club, and I'll throw you.
Yeah, exactly. I've gone for Jose Romero. You wouldn't know him, but he debuted as a 17-year-old in 1988, which you can't do now. We had a few debut in the late 80s that were quite young, and they copped a fair few hidings, but ended up a lot of them went on to the premiership. So anyway, back to him. And in 91-92, he averaged 20 and 1.5 goals a game, which is considered almost elite these days. If you can get the goal and a half a game, that's 30 odd.
Yeah, and 20 back then was like 20,
especially
like 27 these days.
Yes,
so
20 was a very good number to hit. Not many
and
North players hit 20.
North under Pagan was just kick it long to carry.
Well,
you didn't stuff around with the ball, son, or you'd be on the bench.
91-92, so it was Shimmer coaching,
Shimmer,
but it's the same thing. But it's the same as Kennedy, basically, to get it forward late.
Yeah.
But he went to a different level at the Bulldogs. He got dropped from the prelim final in 94, which I didn't agree with, but they brought the Fridge in. We love the Fridge, but he was coming off an ACL, I think. And
he's right here. The Fridge is your doppelganger, Chief.
Apparently.
Anyway, sorry, keep going, Frog.
Then Jose finished his career very well at the Bulldogs.
Righto, let's keep going then with number 4. I'll go first. Aiden Corr. Graded him a D, underachieved. He was dropped earlier in the year and then had injuries wipe out the second half of the year. And I'm still baffled that he played in round 24. You can give me all the reasons about playing on Mark Keane you want. It was ridiculous. Much like his counterpart who will get on next episode, he gives way too much leg rope. And turning 32 next year, hopefully he's just on the list as depth. And I've written in capitals here, should not be in starting 22.
Wow. All right.
So pretty strong thoughts. I'll let you go next, Chief.
Well, he's an experienced defender who didn't impact enough. Like you said, got injuries. He just struggled along with others in our defensive unit and setup. So whether that's totally on him or the coaching or the game plan, only an insider would really know. He averaged 14 disposals. He was below average on intercepts, on spoils. Expectation for mine, well below. He's played 172 games. He's 31 years old. He should be leading that defence, and I've graded him a D+.
Right.
Yeah, basically covered it all there. He's too many. We've talked about a lot in the chat. Unnecessary frees early in the game, like pulling the shoulder when it's really obvious. But when he's on, he's actually a reasonably good defender. When he's switched on and punching the ball out of bounds, but we just didn't see enough of that this year. So yeah, if he's here next year, hopefully he's just in the VFL. Back up.
Yeah, that's why I gave him the plus, because occasionally he will have a good game, and we've seen it more in the last couple of years where he's had a patch of 5 or 6 weeks where you think, he's good, this is what we want, and then he'll fall off. But he didn't really have as long a patch this year. And
he is very vocal in the defensive setup, along with Elmac, helps setting it up, but the actual impact isn't there at times. So yeah, I'd agree with D+.
Right, moving right along, I'll go my favourite, little mini helmet.
Yeah.
Caleb Daniel. There's only one of him, so we won't add the S.
Yeah, so just to reference what we're talking about, online a lot of people say Caleb Daniels, and it drives me bananas.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yes.
There's no S on the end of his name.
There's no E on Jai.
Yeah.
I'm not Simpkin either. 2-letter word. How can you misspell it?
All right, you guys need a better hobby than going online. That's all I'll say. Stay off the socials. All right, he's played 23 games this year, so every game, for a total of 215 games. He was recruited, why? To be the experienced distributor. Wow. He was too slow. He was indecisive with his kicking. These are his negative aspects. It wasn't all negative. Some of that is our players standing in just positions like chess pieces. And it would be very hard to, a bit like me trying to talk at the moment, it would be very hard sometimes to get it out. But when we saw Colby or even Hardeman, much more inexperienced players, they seemed to get it out better. He looked his best against the Tigers. We were there when he distributed from halfback. He wasn't taking the kick-outs, he was getting it at halfback and through the centre. And good decision-making. He just needs that bit of extra space and flow on the ball, I think. I also thought he looked good when the ball was coming in and it was ground ball. He had good, quick hands to get it out to open space to a player. All right, he had 26. He averaged 26 disposals, which is rated elite. Metres gained was 430, which is below average. These are for similar positions, AFL average. Expectations, well, below for me. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think in our preview you had him top 5 in the most prestigious in our preview pod.
I think I did.
Yeah, because we expected big things from him, but we didn't get it, even though his stats might say he was really good. I'll grade him a C.
Right, I'll go next because you've just done his exit interview. It's gone that long. But I've graded him a C-. I think he underachieved. It was a frustrating first year for CD at the club. Definitely didn't deliver what we'd hoped. And if you cast your mind back to February, he was probably going to win the Brownlow if you listen to some of the training reports. He was on fire. But I agree with you that he needs to be used primarily up the ground in 2026. And by that, I mean high half back, not taking the kick-outs. Maybe he'll have that second-year bounce. We saw Dill Stevens to an extent. Maybe another pre-season, getting to learn the confusing game plan. And he might be more effective. But I graded him a C-. Frog?
Yeah, more of the same, I suppose. I think what frustrated most supporters, including us, was when he runs out of the square and goes left and goes right. But like Chief said, that's probably the team setup. He's thinking, where's my outlets? You look there and there's like 17 basically players not moving at all. And then 17 from the other team, whatever. So it's just, where does he go? He looks better further up, but then if Colby takes the kick out, we don't get Colby running through the midfield delivering either. So there's a bit of a...
Rob Peter?
Yeah, then you also need another person because Colby can't take all of them. So then you can say, that could be Hardeman. At this stage of his career, I don't think he can do that. Like, if we wanted to get it to 70 metres out, well, it'll take a good team 5 minutes to switch onto that. But you need to be able to change your mind on the fly if you're going to play him from fullback. You can't just think, this is it. You might think, someone pushes at you, you've got to change direction, kick on your other foot. I don't think Hardiman can kick on his right at all. Maybe. Not bagging him, but Daniel can kick on his left foot. Only short though, same as his right foot. So yeah, but I think, and it's you can't always just put him at half back either. But I think he wasn't exposed one-on-one as much as I thought he would be. But mostly when he's exposed, he's covering from someone else's opponent and just goes stands in the hole. And to be fair, he would wear a pack if he had to. And his ground ball was pretty good. So there's some positives and negatives, but I'd still probably give him a C. But I think the AFL, if he's rated as below average for 430 metres gained, that doesn't make sense because he's first at North and 36th in the AFL, and that's the same. All the stats are coming from the same place, the AFL website. So he's first for North. He's more than McKercher. No one would probably have realised that.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I think he's above McKercher because McKercher had that time at half.
Oh, yeah, I know, but in the end, he's finished first. Yeah. And he kicks it shorter, so obviously he gets a lot of give and goes. But another thing with his, like, you think he turns it over a lot. And the AFL side is listed as 4 a game, and Sheezel's 5, McKercher's 4, LDU's 4. So, and obviously he's in the back line. It can be easier because obviously the midfielders get pressured more. But then there's another side, you've probably been a footy wire, that does get their source from Supercoach. This is Clangers. Sorry, I'm rambling on here, but I just had to look it up just to back up some things. Average Clangers, who do you reckon North's highest would be?
LDU.
Yeah, LDU, because he's a midfielder. So it's LDU, Parker, Simpkin, Sheezel. LDU's 11th in the league, which is bad. Obviously, the high is bad. Where do you reckon Daniel is?
100th.
249th in the league. 14th at North. So he's got less clangers than JK, who gets about 8 possessions a game. This is average per game.
I reckon he gets a drive
Daniel's
by
on
every ball.
Daniel's on 2.3.
He's number 41. He's at least 2 pods away. And you've given him a clip.
Jack Darling has more. But this is a clanger on their side is an error made, a negative result for the side. So it's a 50-metre penalty, a tackle, a free kick against. And it counts everything.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, probably didn't qualify. I don't know. Maybe didn't play. I don't know.
Right, I think one of the other things...
So I just say it looks bad, which is like Harry. You remember all the bad ones, but he does hit a lot of targets that probably a lot of our team can't do. But like you said, it needs to be up higher. But I don't know how we implement that.
Yeah, I don't know if his damage isn't what I thought it would be with ball in hand.
No, definitely not.
And I think other teams are switched on to him and they squeeze him because they can't kick over a jam tin. So it's, the 40 metre, whereas if it's a Colby or a Hardiman, or they can kick at 60, so they've got to have a bigger zone or a looser press, whatever.
That's why he does look better coming through.
Yeah, exactly.
The defensive 50 and even into our forward 50.
What'd you rate him? I've forgotten.
C.
So, okay.
Right, I'll roll on to the next one. Georgie Wardlaw. I found him a tough one, but I think he's underachieved what we expected. I've graded him a B-, however. His last month was sensational once he came back from that little extended period off. But he had a poor stretch of form, particularly in the mid-year. Was close to getting dropped, in my opinion. Really out of form. Injuries, again, hurt George. But, wow, he's good. He's up there with the best. And we saw that in that last month of footy. So, probably a bit generous from me giving him a B-. But I think part of that is how glaring the hole is when he's not there.
Yes.
So I've given him a B-. It probably bumped up his last month, probably bumped him up to that. But
he was playing A-grade standard last month, especially with his kicking improved inside 50. He was hitting up the lead-up shorter targets. I agree with what you've said. Average 16 disposals, 5 tackles, which is, I think it's elite. He was below expectations for mine because I've rated him very highly and he didn't quite live up to it for the year, and I've graded him a C+.
Yeah, I'm a B-, so it's almost the same as both you really. But the pre-season hammy set him back a lot, especially with him, so they had to be very careful bringing him back. And I think he built well, then lost a bit badly for him, then concussion. But I think the best thing they did was they put him in the VFL for 2 games, not just one. Let's bring him back because it's George. And when he came back, I feel like he actually changed the way he played. He was still attacking hard, but he wasn't going like a bulldozer head first. He was definitely turning his body a bit more sideways and being not being careful of himself, who cares about the opponents? But didn't want to hit them. But he was still one grabbing him straight up, and when he's one grabbing it off the ground, he's on. He's best in our team easily at that when he's one touch.
Well, when our midfield,
he was taking more care with his disposals. You can show he can be an elite kick because he does a lot of scrubbers. I think he wasn't with his defensive work was there. He wasn't running himself ragged, chasing someone he was never going to catch. He was being more, or not selective, but just doing it at the right time. And you think that last month he averaged 20 just in those 4 games, 20 and almost 20, 7 tackles, 5 inside 50s, 4 clearances. So if he can build on that, massive ceiling if he can get a clean ride. He can be our best player easily, I think.
I agree.
But he's got a different skill set than LDU. He's different in a different way, but George just carries the team with him in a way. When he goes on the ground, he goes on the ground and you think, that's going to be a ball up, and he just grabs the ball and rolls himself out and breaks the tackle and he's off. Well, I don't think anyone else in the league does that. Off the top of my head.
Yeah, he just complements our midfield mix. Like that last month he had with Harry in there and LDU. They're all A graders potentially, and they're all different and bring a different X factor. And George is we know I love George. So anyway, your turn, Bailey.
Well, if you've been paying attention, you know I'd already gone. But we'll move on to rate our favourite number 37. So I'll go first, and not a number that we've had a lot of joy with. But a bit of a left field one for me. I'm going to pick Corr and Hayden.
Ronnie.
I enjoyed watching Ronnie. From memory, he debuted and tagged Pendlebury, I think, in his first game, and showed a lot, but then had about 700 shoulder injuries and couldn't get on the park, unfortunately. But I really enjoyed watching Ronnie, and one of the many what could have beens during that era.
Yeah, we wanted him in the team because he had a great leap. He trialled really well at the old the draft camp or whatever. Had really good measurements. Leap, I think, was one of his X factors, and very brave when he went back with a flight in front of Lynch and got absolutely crunched, and became a favourite of mine just for that act. All right, I'll go. See, I'm talking now. I'll go Simo, all-time legend. And you think, what? He's number 7. Well, he started in 37. So I'm grabbing onto that and running with it. He had 4 years at 37, from 95 to 98, 65 games in total wearing that number. Obviously, he played 306 in total and was captain. And I don't know, Frog, we used to have these discussions way back then, and I wanted him in the team, and Dennis was a bit reluctant early on to put him in because he had, funnily enough, a basketball background and a great leap. He could take a mark for someone of midfield size, and he was the first to be the third man up in the ruck around the stoppages and just cleared the ball, got into space. What do? Run onto it, just dump, kick it to Carey, goal. So he really set the standard of that, and obviously that rule has changed since then. But love Simo, always wanted him in the team. And I remember, Freddie, you probably remember when he first came in, they were playing West Coast, they were obviously a powerhouse and we're an up-and-coming team, and the coaches said, look, Guy McKenna, their half-back flank, you'll always go to the worst forward to run off and, create. And Simo was there at the half-forward flank or forward pocket, and who do you reckon wanted up to him? So Simo got an early grading from Mick Malthouse that he rated him the worst forward, but he was only young into it and obviously became just a dominant midfielder. Kicking wasn't his one wood, but getting the ball right out of that trough was. Fredo.
Yeah, I basically covered it all there. Yeah,
I do have him as well.
Yeah, that's
okay,
fine.
Nice.
There was no one else really to pick there.
No.
Sorry,
not to that level.
Sorry, Coop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right, let's continue then. Next up, we've got number 7, Zane Duursma. So, seeing I'm speaking, I'll grade him a D. I think he underachieved. You like to bring up my receipts from earlier in the year where you had him as a breakout star, and that went well, didn't it?
No, not so much.
He didn't have the breakout season, though, many had hoped for. Injuries again interrupted the pre-season. He showed glimpses forward, I thought. That goal on the run against the Bombers late in the game. I don't think being the sub, I think that really hurt him. It's hard to impact the game as the sub, particularly when you're not sort of a winger or a half-back. I think his work at half-back was mixed results. I think he really needs to work on his intensity and his defensive efforts. So I've graded him a D. What about you, Frog?
I've graded him a D as well, and I can just only say ditto for what you said. But good thing with him, occasionally gets the ball. He has got very good disposal, but he just can't find it. And he probably needs to hit the weights, obviously, but he couldn't do that with his shoulder. But this is a big pre-season for him.
Yeah, I think he's probably a confident. I agree with everything you said. I think he's a confidence player, and he just lacked it. Like being the sub doesn't help, being stuck in the VFL doesn't help, but he didn't deserve the game. He only averaged 7 disposals. Expectations well below for me, as you've touched on, and I also grade him a D.
I've got a question here from Mitch Lord on Facebook who says, if North does agree to trade Zane, what is a fair trade?
Well, it's got to be a top 10 pick. If it's in this year's draft, it has to be a top 10, and hopefully at least mid-range top 10, because they're going to blow out, as we all know, and we won't go over that again.
Well, I think Essendon will come hard with obviously the lure of playing with his brother.
Yep. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that, but they need quality. They need quality in.
You
their
don't agree
team.
with what? What part of it?
This playing with your brother stuff.
He said it 1,500 times before he was drafted that he wanted to play with his brother.
Well, which one?
Well, obviously
There's another one coming through that could be top 3 pick. Anyway, yeah, fair enough. Well, what have Essendon got? 5 and 6?
Yep.
And maybe more if they get something for Draper?
Potentially. So, yeah, but in saying that, I wouldn't trade him.
No, neither would I. I'd hold him to his contract and, just get the confidence into him, get a big pre-season into him, and hopefully next year. But where's he play? Who's he replacing our current team?
Well, no one.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard.
Well, that's why you got to get to work.
Exactly.
Put in that.
Bust the door down from the VFL.
Yeah.
Start kicking fours every week, and they'll find a spot for you.
Right, any other thoughts?
Nah, nothing.
All right, well, you kick us off with Bailey Scott then.
Oh, regressed significantly over the last year or so. Disappointing, and he's likely peaked 2 or 3 years ago when he got third in the BNF, maybe.
He did.
A poor team, but he's third. Its disposal's always a concern. When confident, though, he's an okay player. That's about it. But I gave him a D as well. From where he was, that's a big fall from him.
Yeah, well, he was given first crack on the wing. He couldn't take it. He only averaged 11 disposals per game. He was well below expectations for me, and I've given him a D minus. He just fell off a cliff, like you said. I think at his best, and he was a solid B type player. He was never going to be an A, but he was solid B. Could rely on him. He'd run up and down the wing, do defensive acts, be offensive, even though his kicking was a worry. But not even a shadow of that now.
No, I also gave him a D. He significantly underachieved. Although in saying that, he did look alright in the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, but is that covering the cracks because the team put together a solid last month? But yeah, the big question for me is, will he be in blue and white in 2026? Lots of noise around that. But we've got a question here from Ekstrom, North AFLW, my only friend, who says, what happened to the number 8 and who are our long-term wingers? Well, I think Jai and question mark.
I love Jai on the wing. Stevens has probably done enough this year. He's the last one we're running today, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, so we won't talk too much about him now. Who else? Fredo, have you got a thought? No. Probably
Zane, I suppose.
Zane, if you can get
the tank up, which is hard. It takes a few years to build that up.
There's a few murmurs about Braden George. He might potentially push up onto the wing.
Yes, I have heard those, and I'd love his bullet kicking, long kicking into the forward line.
And a good size too. Good to have one tall winger, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's a natural forward, so he's used to one-on-one, so he could win the one-on-ones as a winger. So yeah, I don't mind that. I'd like to see that actually. And he was. Well, we're going on to sausage now, but he was tried there in the VFL before he got injured.
Well, you need 3 in the team anyway. One has to switch a bit to one of the flanks, don't they? But
just
you need 3 every game.
Digressing a little bit to our back-to-back, well, soon to be back-to-back girls. How good are our wingers in the AFLW? Wouldn't you love that in the VFL? We've got 3 quality wingers
in the AFL.
In the AFLW, yeah, the AFLW.
Yeah, but you said VFL.
No, I didn't.
But I completely understand with what you're saying. This next one will be interesting to talk about. Let's get into it. LDU. So I'll go first. I've graded him a B-. I think he significantly underachieved from his Sid Barker year last year. He still had good performances, but they were far too inconsistent, particularly, as I mentioned, coming off of best and fairest season. Impacted a lot of games, but he still hasn't taken that next step, and it's becoming really frustrating.
All right, I tend to agree. He signed on early, as in the contract, which took a lot of heat off the club. Like, it was before buy, we thought it'd be at the buy or just post buy, but he did it earlier than probably expected, which I think was great from him. But he wasn't as good as last year. He averaged 25 disposals, 6 clearances, which is elite. But he was below my expectations because of his Sid year and what we expect him to be a top 3 player at our club. And I grade him a B because I think his good was still very good, and we did see that in patches. But once he signed on, his form dropped. It seems to always happen with North players. Sign on the big contract or any contract, and they think, just sit back for a while.
Yeah, I've got him as a down year. That's obvious, I suppose, but still has a unique set of almost league-wide unmatched skills of powering away from stoppages and breaking tackles, but obviously not enough disposal, iffy at times. Is crucified by supporters defensively, but if you actually watch, that's almost team-wide other than George, really, for the midfielders chasing, and then the half-forwards and forwards. A lot of old Darling's really good. Yeah. And obviously JK, that's his one wood.
Well, I thought his defensive efforts were pretty good this year.
I think it's just, when you watch it live, you can see even on the behind the goals from telly, a lot of them just plodding through the midfield. They're either cooked or they just don't want to, or they've left it too late to run, But and another one that we need some more goals from, because the good teams have their mids kick goals. They need to be getting at least double figures, 15 or something a year, not 8 or 5 or whatever, But he was, and positive. He was, I think he's 5th in centre clearances per game in the league, and 16th total clearances per game. So he's obviously around the ground, not getting as many. You can't all get a clearance, of course.
No.
But
one of the
ruckman hogs a few of them too.
Yeah, one of the knocks from me is that far too often he was having like 21.
Yep.
He needs to push back up to that 30 a game, because how damaging he can be. And I just don't think he found the ball enough this year.
Yeah, I agree. I gave him B-.
Yeah, same as me. Right, let's get to our favourite number 38s, and funnily enough, I'll let the chief go first.
Do.
I want to hear you guys glow on about who may be 38. You go.
Oh, you go, Frog. Who's your favourite number 38?
I'll skip the big fella. I'll go to the other big fella, Majak. When he first started, his whole career, he was one of the best players to watch just because of his highlights. And that's, probably not general footy. Nous wasn't great early on, but his first game, he got that goal. If you weren't emotional watching that, well, you should follow another sport, I suppose. And I think in his 4th game, he kicked 6 goals, 4. That's a big bag for someone in their 4th game. Also this is why he's wearing 38 still, mark of the year. The comeback from the injuries later on, and another heartbreaking moment thing, and then I really think he was mismanaged by the coaches. Brad Scott, he played way too long as a forward that didn't really know how to play forward, and you got the guy at Sydney, Aaliyah, playing defence, and it took us 8 years to let try him in the back line, and suddenly he's elite in the league for about 8 weeks when he's just spoiling everything. A really good contested mark. And he can also run off when he needed to, and he cleaned up Jordan Lewis, which is pretty handy on the wing that day. And things like that. He was just a beast, and nothing got the crowd up more than him running through the midfield, having a bounce and having a shot at goal or something. He was great to watch. Yeah, but it should have been a longer career.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, well, let's go. 38, all-time great, Big X. She'll be a dual All-Australian. You mentioned about someone hogging the centre clearances. He has to do it all himself, the Big X man. I've banged on about him all year, so I won't go too hard now, but he's just my favourite. And something Max Gawn will never get is captain of the CCC.
Yeah, well, he's mine as well for the 38 Big X. Not much more to say. What a warrior, and we'll delve further into him as his number comes up. But we'll keep rolling along. Number 10, Colwyn McKercher. Chief, kick us off.
Right, played every game this year for a career total of 39 games. He's our best run and carry player with his penetrating kick. He'll take the hard kicks on. Yeah, occasionally he'll turn them over, but if you take the hard kicks, they're not all going to come off. And a bit like what Fredo said about Daniel, you probably remember the one turnover he has rather than the 19 really damaging disposals he has. Who else can get it out of our back line with his impact? If he wasn't there, we'd still be playing and it'd be in our back line somewhere, getting kicked over our head. He tried at half forward, that didn't really work, although we know he can be a really damaging kick into the forward line, but it's a starvation corner, especially when you're in a team that averages about 32 inside 50s a game. As we get better, I think that could probably be a role for him, but I'd really like to see him have a run through the midfield. Average 23 disposals, 388 metres games. Expectations for me, he met them this year. I had pretty high hopes for him, and he met them. And I grade him a B+.
Yeah, I agree basically with everything you said there. I'm probably happy to see him settle at half-back, but then occasionally go in the midfield. I think that mix we had at the end of the year was good. Throw Colby in there occasionally, but until he's replaceable with a similar skill set, I don't think we can take him out of half-back at the moment. And then he still had, 11 goals?
Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
12 goals, 1.
Didn't miss.
So he can, and I think as the team gets better, hopefully, he'll even push up and be even more aggressive. So your half-back can kick even more goals, potentially. It doesn't matter who kicks them, but he can be even more inside 50s. We can hold the press up a bit, not leave Geelong players sitting on the goal square on the camping chair.
What'd you grade him?
B+.
Yeah, well, I agree with what you said. I actually graded him an A-. I thought once he moved to half-back, it was sensational. The big question was over some of his efforts while at half-forward, which saw him get on the watch list.
And then he had responded with 10 tackles.
Yeah, however, unreal second half of the year, and I think he'll go close to winning the Sid Barker.
Sorry.
So we've got a listener question here from the Tom, George and Harry show who says, could be a midfielder in 2026, but please debate if the team is better off with him running off half-back and cracking teams open. In my opinion, yes. Well, Frog's already sort of said that, but I agree.
I agree as well, even though I'd like him in the midfield. As I said, we can't get it out of the back line without him, so we need him there until, as the Frog said, we recruit or develop someone that can do it as well as him.
Well, I think until we see the fingers crossed, the great white hope, as you term him, go to come in.
Mythical person.
Yeah.
Does he exist? We haven't seen him.
If Goda can come in and team up in another year of Hardeman progression, then yeah, potentially. But I think at the very least, to start season 2026, Colby has to play off halfback.
Yeah, I think Colby, even though he'd love what he's doing there, would prefer to be a midfielder. And our midfield dominated against Richmond. But imagine if we had Colby in there against the slow Richmond midfield, how he'd have dominated. But, you can't. You got to rob Peter to pay Paul, and at the moment we need someone to get it out of the back line with some run and speed and carry.
Correct. Next up, we've got Luke McDonald. I'll go first. I've given him a B. I thought he overachieved what his pre-season expectations were. I thought he'd significantly improved since handing over the captaincy to Jai. His true worth was shown, probably, when he didn't play.
Yeah.
When he had a season-ending injury and the massive hole that he left playing on those third tall or potentially small forwards. I thought defensively he was great this year and played within his limitations well. And that was highlighted by the game against Freo in Perth where he was best on ground for us, which how long's it been since Elmac's been our best player?
2020.
2020. So, yeah, I graded him a B.
Nice. You go, Frog.
Yeah, I have him a B as well. Basically, just ditto to what you said there. He just plays within his kicking abilities, I suppose is why I worded it, because he doesn't try and do the impossible kick. That's why Colby and Carr were there. But really good defensively, though. Yeah, easily his best season for a while. Yep.
Yeah, and played 15 games, as you said. Total of 218, and unlike others down there who have played up around the 200, actually showed the leadership and didn't just talk the talk, but walk the walk. Expectations well met for me. Like, he was good. I expect him to be good. Average 16 disposals, 277 metres gained, and I grade him a C+.
Oh, that's harsh.
Well, you had a B.
I actually thought he'd be pushed out of the team this year.
Yeah.
Because I thought the others would push him out, but he more than held his own. Just thought I needed to add that because I thought, no, this would be his last year.
Yeah, I think when we did our pre-season best 23, it was one of the last picked.
Yeah, he was on both our interchanges.
Yeah. So he had a good year, and it's a shame he got injured towards the end.
Frogs, let's go to Jai.
Jai, well, effectively, he's lost his place as a centre mid over the last 2 years, and they've tried him as a forward that pushes up as the extra midfielder. Didn't really work as well as we thought it could, as the team thought it could, as the supporters. May found his best spot in the wing in the last few weeks because he can use he's got great stamina. He's good in the time trials and that, and good evasion in more space. He isn't not as congested if you're playing on the wing most of the time, but he can still be handy at the stoppages with 10 years of experience of playing around the stoppage. So you sort of get a win-win there. It's not like just going to be scared to get in and get his hands dirty. Fortunately, his kicking lets him down at times.
Except for his left foot, that's become really good. Little
And,
30-metre left foot.
and as obviously as the captain, he wants to fly the flag, but he does the odd silly free and 50, and that you just can't do it. You just got to find another way, win the ball and kick a goal. That's the best way to stand up, really. But I'll probably a B-. Yeah.
Question without notice. If you're in charge, is he captain next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was not talking to you,
No.
but yeah, sorry.
Oh, I would. Yeah.
Yep.
I think there's the obsession with putting Harry in there or whoever, unless. Well, I don't know who does it. Does the players and the coaches do it these days? I don't know what the thing is. They do the
Players vote, then coaches ratify.
But I'd be more than happy for X to do it. I don't think it'd phase him at all.
I'll go next. I graded Jai a B. I thought he was about expected. We saw the best of him throughout the year, but also some poor form. But I always take in consideration that he played through significant injury. But the wing's now his spot. He was getting 30 disposals on a wing, time and space. And he's just a better player, and I think he's a sneaky good mark overhead for his size. So I really like him on the wing. He can use the Jai step. He's pretty good in tight spaces. Wins a lot of one-on-ones, and he's a pretty good tackler. So I like him on the wing, and I graded him a B.
Yeah, well, you guys have covered it, so I'll just say he averaged 22 disposals, which is above average, 4 clearances, which is elite. This is all off the AFL website. And expectations for me were met, and I graded him a B-.
Right, let's take a quick break and roll into our favourite number 39s. While you get it ready, I'll go. And wasn't exactly spoiled for choice, but more for the personality maybe than the football ability. But I'm going the Big Moose, Finbar Maley. I've gone with Big Finbar.
Yeah, okay.
What about you, Frog?
I've gone for the used to be called the Turtle, Lee Harding. 141 games, which is fairly good career. That's a 72nd most for North, and he had back-to-back seasons in 2002 and 2003 of 33 goals. In 2002 it was 33 goals, 32, so he was a bit iffy in front of the sticks, but that's 65 shots a goal you'll take any day. He did drop off a bit after that, but got moved off halfback occasionally sometimes. Was actually a pretty solid little guy too. Like, he wasn't frightened to clean someone up, and back then you could put players at halfback and run them off. He used to play forward but come off a bit like Boomy did sometimes too. Start at centre halfback and just run through the middle and either get the ball or try and bump into strong tackle. But he had a pretty good electric pace. Yeah. Good player to watch.
Yeah, solid wheels, and you pinched mine. I had him 141 games for 157 goals. I just mentioned Michael Passmore, seeing you pinch mine. I haven't got his stats, but he got posted a fair bit. Do you remember, Fredo?
Oh, yeah.
I think Kappa sat on his shoulders a few times. He was like a skinny full back type, but it didn't quite make a huge impact. But yeah, Turtle would be mine as well.
There's another one, not another one, but another one that was good to watch was also forward was Jason Love in the late 80s. Had a very short career, but just thought I'd give him a shout out. Kicked 6 against the Swans a couple of times.
Yeah.
Very inconsistent play, but like what would you say, a poor man's Toby Green or something like that. He had a few skills and tricks, but he was very inconsistent. That's why he did a poor man's one. But
tried to post the people, and did occasionally. Yeah, had a good highlight.
Bit of a larrikin type of player.
Yeah.
Right, Big Kappa getting a reference. Kappa!
Kappa posted a lot of people, to
Yeah.
be fair. That's all. That was his game. That was all he had.
And nobody loves Kappa more than Warwick himself.
Yeah.
I got that right.
Right, let's keep rolling on. Number 13, Darcy Tucker. Chief, kick us off.
Yeah, okay. 7 games this year for a career total of 156. I thought he was gifted games early. I think most supporters, and certainly asked around this pod, were surprised why he kept getting games. But his poor form when he tagged Connor Rosie and got donuts probably hurt him, and he finally got dropped.
Hang on, Rosie had about 30 as well.
Yeah,
so he did nothing. He didn't even do the tag right.
But he could do it because
forgotten that
we
one.
throw back to last year against Hawthorn.
No, you can't.
The whole no, I'm saying he had form that he could do it, so I can see why they tried it, but it did not work. And then he got dropped. Then he got some back injury, and he's off with Goda, never seen again. And I'm surprised he wasn't one of the first delisted.
Can I say something?
Can I
that's
just
harsh?
say while we talk on it? Oh, you go.
Well, something that's harsh is probably the best thing he's done was get that injury because it ended up with Cooper Trembath coming on the list. So
Exactly right.
that's incredibly harsh.
That is harsh, and he's at the age where he's beyond his best, and I'm surprised they haven't delisted him yet. I don't know what they're going to do, but if he's still on the list, there'll be some serious questions asked. But this is very harsh, nothing personal. Thanks for your service. Good luck.
Yeah, well, very similar to me.
Oh, sorry, and the expectations well below, and grade a D-.
I gave him a D- as well, and I've just written here won't be on the list next season. ... and then in capitals, surely, but he still is at the present time.
Yeah.
So
I went D- as well, and May struggled to hold his list, but you've covered that. But I guess they're just waiting to see what happens with potential trades. They always hold the last 3 or 4 contracts until post-trade to see how many spots they've got. I think Harvey had to wait a long time last year for his, so he'd probably be in the same boat again. Even though he's got a lot of fans, I mean, obviously if you can bring a better player in, that's so Tucker would be close to being on the chopping block. The only positive with him is, I reckon the coaches like him. You can say you're half-back flank, he goes, yep, I'll go do that, or whatever, half-forward wing. He is a bit versatile, but hopefully we've gone past him.
yeah, that's been the noise out of the club, isn't it? That he's just a good soldier.
Yeah.
As Clarko loves his good shot.
And he's got a good build, and he understands where to play. He's like a poor man's Shield, I suppose. Like you can just put him there, like not going to dominate, but knows the structure, and that's probably it's very important in AFL. If you get it wrong, that's a goal. One player's out of the wrong position, so he can do all that right. But hopefully we've gone past him. Thanks for the gift, the AFL. Okay, third rounder we had to trade or whatever.
Big handouts.
Yeah, it was massive. I'd
I'd
probably take Noah Anderson over that.
Yeah.
Noah Anderson, Darcy Tucker.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on, it's Tucker and Lowe.
And Fats.
Yeah. Let's keep rolling. Number 14, Luke Urkart. Just graded him a C. Didn't see him at AFL level, but building in the twos. Could he be the defensive mid we need? Is the question mark I've got.
Well, he could be, but he's not getting in our midfield.
But could he build to be that? Is
Yeah,
my question.
he could be. Well, I didn't grade him because he didn't play.
Yeah, that's why I gave him a flat C.
Yeah, and expectations. Yeah, Matt, first year player, just developed in the VFL, did a couple of nice things in there. Just keep going. Another big pre-season and move on.
That's basically what I wrote it. Just spent learning the ropes in the VFL, which includes getting moved around. Read a lot of people saying, you just play him in the spot, but the idea of VFL is that it's a development league essentially, so you develop him in a few games in the mid, a bit of half-back, you need him to be versatile. If they ever get the Guernsey, you need to be more than one position.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So that you've got to learn. It might affect his, but that's part of the learning curve.
He's not going to come in and play 100% midfield time, is he?
Did anyone
who do you push out? Parker.
Yeah.
Did anyone expect him to play a game, AFL game?
No.
No, neither did I.
I think some supporters get excited because they see a big bodied, as they say, but there's a difference between that and actually being effective in a game.
Yeah.
At AFL level.
Right, the last of our player numbers now, number 40, your favourite of all time. I'm going first, and I've done the double up because I can't go past my man Kane, who obviously started the number 40. Still burned into my brain is when he debuted up in Canberra, kicked 3 goals, wearing number 40, probably 40 kilos as well. He was all this skin and bone, basically, and with some of the hardest head over the ball football you'll see. And then he had to go back to school on Monday.
Yeah.
So, Kano gets a double shout out from me.
Okay, and he's like Bono or Madonna, just first name. No need to mention surnames.
People know, the listeners know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's not Corns.
No. Right, I've gone number 40, David Teague. Played 33 games for us between 2001 2003, and I remember him as a little bit of a mini Archer. A little tough little bugger, blonde hair, and half-back, back pocket type, and just hard as nails, just like Arch, but obviously didn't have the same quality, but had the same effort. Then he went to Carlton, and I don't care what he did there.
Exactly right. Well, I've gone for Eddie Elvis forward, and he was really good to watch when he was on. Had a bit of swag, which we all liked. He's in the founding member of your little club.
He was.
But unfortunately, his time's come to an end. I'm not even sure how many games. Oh, he played 40, didn't he? Exactly 40 games, but a bit of a shame. It looked like he had the tools, but maybe didn't have everything else right. And it's a half forward. How does he get in? So we keep saying that, but we seem to have a lot of half forwards. And don't know that it would have worked down back. I don't know, but it's a bit of a shame. But he definitely gave us a good few highlights over the year, including a bit of with the body language and counting Sicily's disposals and telling him how many goals he kicked and pointing at his fingering players and fingering the crowd and giving the thumbs up to the supporters. So he's pretty much a supporter favourite, I think.
He was. All right, number 15. Last player on the review list today, Dylan Stevens. Go ahead.
Okay, played 22 games this year. Started as a sub early, which no one likes being the sub, and thank God they'll get rid of that rule. We're all tipping. For a career total of 81 games. He had a purple patch mid-year on the wing where he probably exceeded our expectations or probably met what we first thought he'd be as a first-round pick when we got him from Sydney, but he had a horrible first debut year for North. He averaged 18 disposals, which is average for a winger. This surprised me, averaged 5 marks, which is rated elite. But how many of those are the sideways chipping ball, I wonder. But anyway, he still did it. Right, for tackles and clearances, he averaged 1, which is rated poor. For expectations for the year, he met mine. Maybe even exceeded slightly, because I didn't have him in my best 23, so I should change that to exceeded. I graded him a C.
Right, I'll just fire through mine, pretty similar to yours. I gave him a C+. I think he overachieved because I didn't have him in my best 23 entry in the year, and I think he is in our best 23 now.
Yep.
Had some great games, had some poor games. Best season at North so far, though. And the big question for him heading into the summer is, can he consistently get around that 20 possession mark playing on the wing? Because that's what we need from him. We've got one wing locked down, we think, with Jai. Will he make the other wing his own?
Yeah, well, let's hope so.
Yeah, good points there. Having said that, he, about the 20, he got over 29 times, so if he can get that to like 15 or something over 20 disposals would be good. He does drift out of games, has good halves, and it is hard to stay involved for 4, but I commented should be confident next year that he can impact at this level. He should be confident in what he's done this year. That hopefully sets him. I reckon he probably lacked a bit of belief at the end of last year, being in 2 different clubs and not really finding a spot. But I think it's his now. But he's got to go again to another level.
Doesn't want to Bailey Scott plateau or
no,
fall off.
I gave him a C+. Because none of us had it even in our 25, I don't think, at the start of the year.
A couple of questions to finish. Harry Valentine, who you might remember the name, Chief, and let me just ask the question. Who do you hate more, Essendon or Jared Healy?
Essendon. It's more to hate. You can spread the hate further with Essendon.
Yeah, definitely Essendon.
But I agree. But geez, Jared Healy, he's got it out for LDU. The LDU
apparently he's a bit of a mentor though, because they're both surfing buddies. But he's being a mentor that's hard. Because he needs to get fitter. He used to say years ago now, because he can't handball left-handed, but Ben Cunnington couldn't handball right-handed.
Yeah,
obviously you better explain.
Probably the greatest handballer ever.
Last one here from Peter Flaherty before we finish up. Do you guys think it was a waste of investment in cutting George and Ford? Also, would you consider re-rooking either? Well, we didn't cut Braden George. He's got another year, thankfully. But
Yeah, gee, I was worried then. I thought you're not
Have we
talking
missed
about George
something?
Ward.
Yeah.
what have I missed?
or the sausage.
Eddie Ford, would you consider re-rooking?
I think he'll get picked up. Well, no, I don't think. I think he's the best chance so far of those who've been cut to be picked up by another club. But I just don't think we've got a spot for him. We've got too many mid forwards, and I liked his form in the half back on the VFL, but it's a small window of what we've seen. So I don't think we will.
No, I don't think we will either. If they wouldn't play him, they're definitely not. They're definitely not.
Well, he probably
gonna
wasn't
pick him out.
knocking the door down genuinely, and I don't think he was even an emergency from memory, which isn't a good sign either.
No,
But it's a bad sign because they're too stubborn of playing the same players who aren't getting it done, and that's why the selection committee are on the watch list. 'Cause
yeah,
it shits me.
It's the same as the Australian cricket selection committee. It's once you're in, you're in. You can.
It's hard to see who would replace at either end, really.
Well, it would have been Daniel. Which
But he can't do what he can do. The good that he can do, he can obviously do the other end of it better. But he can't do the distribution as well. He's obviously
No.
better mark and stuff, but it's a different type of distribution at AFL level.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Well,
Thanks.
I would have loved to see him get some games though.
Yeah.
Just throw the dice when you're clearly going to finish in the bottom four by about round 3. We could see that.
Before you wind up, let's give a big shout out once again to the VFLW girls back to back, and also the AFLW girls. We're recording. It's about 11 o'clock. They've got a big game in Freo, and I expect them to win by 7+. As long as the weather's kind, the umpires are fair, and we don't get hit by, touch wood, no injuries.
Well, one of those things will never happen, and that's the umpiring. But yeah, good luck to the girls, and we'll be back to review that. So stay tuned there. But I just want to say, if anyone wants to support the pod in a non-financial way, please subscribe on YouTube or Spotify or Apple, and leave a comment. Let us know you're listening. We love engaging with our loyal listeners. So thanks once again.
Yeah, and if you've got put in any comments about who we got horrendously wrong, who we were too hard on, who we were too easy on, and we've got 2 more to go.
Yeah, so if you want to leave a question about one of the remaining players, please just drop it wherever you're listening, and we'll add them in.
Voice question. We want to hear from a long time, or we want to hear from our boners.
Yep.
Maybe on the phoner. Be a phoner.
Sounds good. All right, thanks for coming on again, Frog. Good
No
to
worries.
hear. No doubt the listeners will be glad to have you back on board.
Yes, you finally got a call up. You're a bit like Elvis. At least you got a call up though.
He'll stay now, especially with you pretty soon jetting off again. Just
Yeah.
thinking holiday season for the big chief.
What's going on there?
Yeah, well, our season's over. I don't care about the rest of the team. I don't care who wins the premiership.
Well, excuse me, the most important season's not over. We're going back to back, baby.
Ah, yes. Well, I'll be back for that.
No, you won't. You won't get back.
So I'll
on.
be back for 16 to 30. Is that right? Whenever that is.
Yes, that'll be next weekend as well. But stay tuned. Thanks for your continued support. As I mentioned before, our next pod will be reviewing hopefully a win against the Dockers today over in Perth for the Roo Girls. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for your support. See you next time.
Carnakangas.
Go Roos!
So join in the chorus